Many young adults and even grown adults wish they'd learned ways to manage finances in school. And it's something Prince George's County students will be required to learn in future years. So how can parents get involved and help kids learn financial literacy skills as well? Joining us now is money expert Clark Kendall. Good morning to you, Clark. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning. Happy Labor Day to you. And it's a great day to talk about how we can have our money work for us instead of us working for money.
Absolutely. And boy, do most of us wish we'd learned that earlier, right? I'm going to start with the most basic question. Why is this important?
Well, I think what it does is it gives, when you have financial freedom, you have opportunities to do things in the future. And I think this is a great time to sit down with your children and talk about money problems. And, even for elementary school kids, take a glass jar, put some money in there and talk about how they can spend that money because nobody has unlimited amounts of money.
Yeah, absolutely. And starting young, right, can really kind of set you on a different trajectory in your life. So you're touching on what parents can do with the very young, but you also talk about in-house economy. What is that?
Well, I think in-house economy is talking to your children about, we're going to go buy a new car. Do we buy a new car? Do we buy a used car? Do we get leather seats? Do we not get leather seats? What type of vacation do we take? Do we go to Disney World or do we go camping? All these small decisions can make a long-term big effect on a child's life.
It's interesting. I know you're big on phrasing and why that's so important. Exchanging terms like broke or poor. Why is that such a big deal?
Well, I think you teach your kids to be successful and say, I am going to be successful. You want your kids to be, as I refer to it, middle-class millionaires. And it's these nickel and dime things make a big difference. I've seen clients, take the opportunity to share. Our kids all spend so much time on the cell phone. Well, let's talk about, this is an Apple stock. It's a Verizon. They have Qualcomm chips in them. Talk to them. And, many of the major brokerage firms, you can buy just $5 worth of each one of those stocks. And when they own it, they start to understand how the economy works and how these nickel and dime things can make a huge difference in their lives.
And I'm sure talking about budgets, right, that there is a budget, that everyone should be on a budget, right, for the most part, is also important, correct? Just to show that there are limitations. Because I think when we're young, at least I thought until, I hit a certain age, you think the funds are unlimited.
You do. You think the funds are unlimited. I think ultimately what you're doing is you're teaching your kids how to financially fish for themselves and not just giving them, a dinner every night. You're helping them. I think even going as far as saying we're setting money aside in a college education, a 529 for you, but let's talk about going to a state school. Let's talk about going to UVA or University of Maryland, James Madison, Towson, compared to going to Georgetown or GW. I mean, there's a huge cost difference between those two. And I think when they own it, they can own their success. Yeah. And really, that's what we want for our children, to be successful on their own.
My last question here in the last 30 seconds, a lot of what you're talking about is essentially being transparent with your child. Is there a limit to that? I mean, is there a certain line you don't want to cross to make sure that the kid can still be a kid?
Well, I think, you as a parent have to make that call, one child at a time, and each financial person's decision is different. So there's no real kind of hard and fast rules of thumbs, but all these nickel and dime things, as I say, creates middle-class millionaire children that can be successful and have additional choices in life.
Absolutely. And certainly don't be afraid, honestly, just to talk about money, right? I think for a lot of people, it's a taboo topic in the household, and that can do more harm than good. So I'm glad you're starting this conversation.
Great. Thank you for having me on. Happy Labor Day.
Happy Labor Day. Money expert Clark Kendall, appreciate your time this morning. Thank you.